was. We'll bring up the map veto system, though, for you while we go through that point.
Yeah, so find out where we're actually going to play this match. Of course, Rogue on attack, as you can see, Reciprocity on defense, and it'll be Oregon.
So we mentioned that we don't ever see Oregon all that much. It's the second most banned map in North America. Why not start the day off here? Oregon enables a play style that a lot of people consider to be quite chaotic.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun match. I can tell you for a fact this is going to be a fun match just based on the map we got. That's it. The map and the teams that are playing. Speaking of, why don't you tell us who you think is going to win? You have the community vote, and it's...
Wow, that is very close.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, not the closest we've ever seen. We've had a perfect 45-45-10 before, but this is very, very close to that.
Was it the Dark Zero matchup last week where it was something similar? Where it was like 44 to like 47% or something like that.
Yeah.
It was, you know, very, very close.
We've had some crazily close community vote recently. We had a Rogue Dark Zero, which was like 44,
yeah, that was
48.
That was the one.
Yeah.
So as we just wait to get into this actual matchup here today, you're going to see some interesting things in regards to Oregon. There's lots of shield play that we could possibly have Glaz play if he doesn't go banned. Likely see, what you suspect probably one of the hard breachers will likely be banned. We might see a Kaid ban because of the way that he works on this map. There's a lot of different things that can be brought to the table.
The real curveball I'm expecting with the ban phase is who's going to ban Thatcher, if anybody. If Thatcher gets banned out, this match is going to be played very differently to, well, otherwise. So
I believe the official term is Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell is the official term for Oregon minus the Thatcher. Now, this is the last chance for that. As Rogue starts banning, the question is, will they kneecap both teams? No. Okay, Ying's going to be the next ban, and we will have Thatcher in play, which is going to mean that, yes, you can Kaid and Mute juggle the drop down in the basement. It's definitely possible. In fact, very powerful if done correctly. All you need to do is contest the laundry stairs while doing that, and it's a good strategy. But the attackers will be able to counter that play using Thatcher.
So the three most banned operators this season are all taken out. Glaz and Ying are the two most banned operators on attack. We say goodbye to them. Maestro is the most banned defender. We say goodbye to him. And then Echo, the second most banned. So the top four most banned operators in North America will be taken out. And that's interesting. There has been no deviation, no possible counter-stratting for these teams here. Now, mind you, there are Glaz and Ying players on both of these teams. We know that there's Maestro and Echo players on both of these teams, so these are operators that they would both use were they available. But I am a little surprised to not see any particular bans for this site in particular.
Yes.
Like you mentioned, the Thatcher ban, a possible Kaid ban, a Mute ban, etc. Everything just seems to be par for the course right now.
Speaking of, and this is odd, we have, okay, Reciprocity have decided not to bring a Mira, not bring a Kaid. They 6-pick into the Mute off the Mira. That's truly confusing. I'm guessing they're trying to fake it out.
And they keep the alibi.
Yeah. So this is a really interesting move by Reciprocity. My bet is that they're going to be playing aggressively to try and deny site by not letting the enemy get to the site. That's the only thing I can imagine is the thought process here from Reciprocity. You can see they're opening up some head-level holes there. They're going to have roamers by kitchen. They're not just opening up next to the drop-down so they can deny the thermite charge in classroom. They want to fight people in main lobby. So yeah, this is just giving more fuel to the we're going to take fights everywhere fire on the side of Reciprocity, especially considering where they all find themselves at the end of the prep phase. So we're even going to, looks like, have a peek from T3 of Tower. We got a dock up there. It's Fox. And, well, he's at least going to deny Tower. But this setup from Reciprocity is very aggressive.
It was pretty standard Oregon.
Yeah.
Spawn peek, why not? Throw an ACOG in T3. There you go. For those that are unfamiliar, T3 is the third floor of Tower.
Yep.
So it's called T3 because it is the third floor of Tower. That is it. T3, Tower 3, third floor.
And then you have T2.
Which is the second floor of Tower.
And then T1.
And I know that sometimes we use these calls that are not in the game. Keep in mind that at the bottom of your screen there is a compass when you play Rainbow Six. This is information that is relayed to you through the screen, but there are a lot of times where we'll change exactly what these calls might be. So, entry for Rogue, as they are going to clear that second and that first floor. A lot of teams on Laundry and Supply Room on Oregon will put a number of bodies up on a floor that they are not defending. You often don't see more than 2 to 3 defenders in that basement. It gets a bit claustrophobic, and you want to be able to hold the map control just above the site, which is Meeting Hall, exactly where Fox A is posted up for the time being. He's going to be able to stim himself and possibly just continue to waste as much time as possible, holding the angle. That leads down just to the front of Kitchen by the side of the classroom wall.
Probably got some information here from Bulletproof cameras. Well, the one he brought himself. Nades, though, going to be going out onto the mark. Eclipse will miss as Fox A has already fallen back. It's good game sense to see the mark and just not try to take the fights any longer from the dock. Side of Meeting, trying to contest as long as possible, and so far we've seen a lot of delay action on the side of Reciprocity. They've done a great job of slowing down the attack. But now that we're on the actual site, Mira left unbanned but still not being played to try and anchor basement of Oregon. It's going to put a lot of pressure on the C4s and gas canisters in the hands of Retro, Skies, and Mark in sight.
What is Laxing doing on that alibi? Now, Laxing plays in a very particular way, almost like this lurking role that he plays on defense. Now, we call them roamers, but lurkers are something that is a sometimes acceptable term to describe what they do, and Laxing doesn't really just roam, he lurks. Down goes Eclipse. Fox looks for a second, he'll pick him up. His Vertical is able to take one from Reciprocity down, and Rec is going to be in the midst of a lockout. But Vertical picks up 2 big kills from behind, gets dropped. Unlucky, won't be able to grab the third as there's Laxing. That final second miracle that Laxing loves to pull off as he gets called back at the perfect time. He shuts down Vertical, and Reciprocity will take round number 1 on a slugfest that lasted for about 10 seconds there as everybody collapsed on the site, attackers and defenders in kind.
That was a really excellent round from Laxing, having just about the best roam possible, as well as Fox doing some great work as the dock. I like that Fox didn't fall back immediately when the site was started to get pressured. He decided to maintain his position inside of Meeting. One thing that is a little bit worrisome, in fact, actually very worrisome for Rogue and their strategy, is the lack of a Meeting Hall clear before executing onto the site. You saw that Rogue was trying to give themselves plenty of time for that defuse plan. But, I mean, nobody was watching Flag, or Meeting Hall entrance, as it's, I believe, the official term. So the fact that that was not being covered, and it was a pretty easy round for Reciprocity to retake on that site take. It was too focused from Rogue, not enough clearing of the roamers, and that's despite such an efficient clear of the west side and some great operators for clearing out roamers such as Jack.
But where was the focus on Meeting? Where was the focus on Tower? 59 seconds was when we switched to the view of Fox A getting the kill onto Eclipse, dropping through that hatch. A whole minute left with which to execute as you need to. And as you said, there was no real presence of mind from Rogue unless Rogue decided, hey, there's only 2 bodies on site. If we push them and take care of them, then we leave the remaining roamers to have to fight for control for a retake. But then there was a 3rd body that ended up dropping onto site for Reciprocity, and at that point, I think Rogue just gambled incorrectly and possibly even had the wrong information at their disposal.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to see something different from Rogue. They're going to go for, it looks like an Armory Master take. It's the old age strategy for attacking the top floor of Oregon, but certainly a very structured one, and definitely good if you can accomplish it. First things first, you got to take control of Armory. That's going to allow you to push into Master. Laxing was roaming that position, but as soon as he started feeling any amount of pressure, he fell back swift and safe.
It's also worth noting that if Rogue's strategy was to just simply try and contain the roamers and fight for them to have to retake in a very quick site push, that works really well on dorms. If you can control dorms in a post plant as the attackers, it's almost impossible for a lot of these defending teams to be able to strike back. So if Rogue does go for that same push that we saw in round number 1, might bear a little bit more fruit here. They've used about a minute's worth of time, still on Repel and still trying to cut down on all these windows and see exactly where Reciprocity is. And as you mentioned about Laxing, and we mentioned in the very first round, he's very hard to pin down. But then you've also got other members of the team, such as Skies and Fox A, who can accomplish the same thing.
You've also got the Nomad being a staple for Rogue so far in their attack rounds, being brought both. And that Nomad air jab is going to be so important in finding the roamer used correctly, as trying to be displayed. There is one on the sandbag in Attic, so if Laxing uses Attic as a rotation, he will be hit by the air jab, and that will notify the attacking team to Laxing's presence.
You hear another air jab go out as well, and with Oregon, we tend to see nomads put them on windows or doors over on the tower side of things. If you don't control tower, that's very okay, and Laxing not able to do any kind of magic and get back to site. A slash cuts Laxing down, easily abandons the plan. Here's the C4 goes out. He knows he's got at least one body beneath him. But this is a great play from Rogue to be able to pick everybody off, leaving just 2 bodies on site for Reciprocity as Rogue is current advantage. Easily going for the plant as Fox and Skies will now need to retake. This could be potentially impossible as Eclipse has the skeleton key out at such close range. Will finish off Skies. Diffuser down quite successfully, and Reciprocity have almost completely abandoned this round, and there you have it. It'll be an easy cleanup for Rogue, and this is exactly why you don't abandon dorms that strongly as Reciprocity did. You put a lot of bodies below, and fighting for the retake after your C4 does or does not connect can be basically impossible.
We saw Slash's Nomad get 2 kills in that round to open the site up. The first one, of course, was on a roamer, but the follow-up quickly after. Great job to Slash to allow his team a little bit of alleviation to that pressure, and that was all that was necessary for Rogue to get the plant down. They lost 1 player in the plant, but there's only so many C4s the Reciprocity can bring to deny from below. And with Slash getting so many picks early in the round, it's going to get worse and worse as time goes on for the defense. So we'll go back to the top floor here. Reciprocity not being able to deny that plant, not being able to deny entry to Generator or have any amount of success with their roamers. It looks like they're going to be changing up their strategy just ever so slightly. The air jab in Attic has forced Laxing, looks like, onto a change. Off the alibi, onto the bandit, and it's likely that he might play a little bit more on site, though not a guarantee. Bandit is a very versatile operator. You can either bandit trick if you want to deny a generator wall, or you can go ahead and put the batteries down and just go for a roam. It's up to you.
The big worry if I'm Reciprocity is if Laxing continuously gets shut down and what the rest of the team is able to do around that. Look at the Rise Nation game against Reciprocity last week on Consulate. Laxing ended up with, and this is just my back of the napkin math here, almost the same as the rest of his team combined in kills. And it was because there were continuous times where Laxing was doing that deep lurk, and sometimes it really wasn't helping the team at all. He would be in a position where his entire team might need some help on site. They might have needed different map control than what he was providing. And by the time he got back to site, you're in a 1v4 or a 1v5 or a 1v3. A lot of teams aren't going to let you win that. Doesn't matter how good you are, it basically becomes a fool's errand to try and retake. If Laxing keeps getting picked earlier, if he gets picked early again, that could pose a major problem for Reciprocity.
Yeah, and you got to imagine that Nomad pick is very targeted. Obviously, she's a versatile operator. She's great on pretty much any map to isolate those flanks, but when you're playing against Reciprocity and you have a specific plan in mind, you expect certain things from the roamers of Reciprocity, you can lock them down, shut them out. And on top of that, it's Oregon. So that's going to be even more effective than it would be on many other maps. Nice attempt there from Slash, but he missed it just barely. It's not going to waste too much time, not a huge deal. The Mute Jammers, though, might potentially catch a drone. Nope, not the case. It's going to be Retro playing close to this north window. Very dangerous position to play, and with the Thatcher EMPs coming out, they will clear out the ADSs, allowing for the frag grenades later on.
Interesting with the coordination that Slash and Eclipse might have here is they're both by that kid's room or the kid's dorm windows, the double windows, waiting to see if either of them are going to be able to take advantage of it. There's no Jaeger on the board, so Eclipse, there's 2 frag grenades, might be able to get something going here. He'll take out Foxe, a beautiful toss on in, an underhanded throw to be able to punish the Legion who was playing aggressively on the door frame, just trying to possibly deny entry. But Retro tosses out a C4, it'll catch Eclipse. Could have possibly gone for more than one on that rappel. And Reciprocity, as you can see on your screen, are once again going for this very heavy defense down below, opening up lines of sight up to kids' dorms. So if somebody goes to rappel on in, just like that, they'll be there to catch them, and it'll be Laxing playing those openings perfectly, setting us up for the execute to go with both teams at 3 apiece with just 30 seconds left, and Laxing is still undetected. He'll clean up uneasily, immediately traded off by Shuttle on Disguise, and Mark is the lone member of Reciprocity on site.
He's doing his best here to hold on to both of the sites, but he's lost complete control of Dorms. Meanwhile, downstairs, it's Laxing versus Shuttle, and Laxing will out. It's going to be up to Vertical to maintain site control as a solo player. With only 8 seconds left, he's got to fight 2 defenders. He'll find the castle, goes to White, looking for Laxing, but Laxing wins yet again. And Reciprocity will win the round off an excellent solo performance from the roaming bandit of Laxing.
This is the thing, and he's going to be a focal point for probably most of this match, just as he is for a lot of times. The way that Laxing plays, if his team can make enough space for him, and you do not have the presence of mind as the attackers to aggressively hunt him down and punish him, then there's a very high likelihood he's going to make you pay on that retake. That's exactly what happened on that kid's Dorms round. You know, he was able to get the C4 out, claim the kill onto Eclipse, then rotate on over to Small Tower, gets the kill outside a big window, comes back over to White Stairs, takes out Shuttle, and that I believe was a 4K that round for Laxing, if my numbers are correct. So there you have it. Excellent performance from him, and it ultimately does quite well for the rest of that team, and as you pointed out, a very good singular effort.
So we haven't been seeing Jaeger being brought, which is a little bit confusing considering it's Oregon. There's a lot of stuff you can do with the projectiles and the throwables on this map. The Thatcher, though, has been, again, one of those staples for the attacking team, so that's not the craziest thing to see. It's potentially, well, not potentially, it's a very strong counter to those ADSs, and Reciprocity seem to just want to try and play as mobile as possible, not giving opportunities for the nades to land in the first place. But it did really play an effect in the last round, and not only in the grenades, but also just in general when it came to that assault on the site. There's a lot to go, or a lot to say about having the ability to catch those grenades and making it a little bit more comfortable for you to potentially even play in T3 of Tower, for example, as we see Foxay doing right now. He can always heal himself back up, but it's still a danger that you leave yourself exposed to.
It's basically the same thing from Reciprocity as we saw in round number 1. The only difference is that Skies has abandoned the castle and has gone with the mute on this site. So you're still going to have the possibility for Laxing to be able to try and control Kitchen with those alibi decoys playing downstairs, but we'll see.
Yeah, Skies will get picked off very early.
That is
not great.
Likely playing inside of Tower would be my guess.
It looks to be that way. No, Meeting Hall. Huh. Wow, all the way from the Tower window, yeah. So it is a very impressive angle there from the Nomad Slash getting an early pick.
Now, it was looking like Reciprocity was running a bulletproof camera. As to whether or not it's on Skies or Foxay, that's something that we'll see. There it is, the bulletproof camera's on Foxay, so that likely means that one of the 2 C4s for Reciprocity is down.
Okay. Well, Foxay's...
Drone is stuck.
Drone's stuck! Foxay's going to be spotted, but that is as it is, I suppose. Ooh, the nade there misses, and the bulletproof camera will persist. That is unfortunate. Not enough soft destruction, classroom wall, and it looks like the Thermite's going to be able to detonate from that position, but Foxay might be able to get a frag. Nope, Thermite long gone.
Isn't going to give his position away either, but could have possibly pulled the trigger there to maybe be able to take out the wall. Now, a lot of people aren't aware that if you use the exothermic charge on the second wall next to the classroom wall, it'll be able to take the hatch out too, and it explodes basically everything in that area, which is exactly what Easley was capable of doing.
Foxay was a huge influence on the outcome of the very first round, the first time Reciprocity defended the bottom floor, because he was able to apply pressure from Meeting Hall, and that's because Rogue never cleared out Meeting Hall. He's trying to do the very same thing here in this round once more, but I'm sure there's going to be a little bit more diligence on Foxay's position from Rogue.
Just waiting to see if Foxay is going to be discovered at all. Execute coming down, which has been very early from Rogue, and they have control with a 5v3. Easily will be able to stick this plant, doesn't fall off, and I don't know if the information was there for Reciprocity, but from good to bad, they will go, and Mark takes out Eclipse, with still an advantage holding for Rogue. The big question is, where are Laxing and Fox going to be? Well, Fox gets found in the hands of Shuttle. Laxing takes out Shuttle, but won't be able to do too much as he's now finding himself in a 1v3 as Mark falls on site, and Laxing is completely lost, not aware of what angle he's going to need to attack, whether it's the stairs or inside a classroom, and it was Slash, who was basically a human airjet, just holding the flank watch there. He's able to cut down Laxing. And now, all tied up, 2-2.
The way that we've been seeing Reciprocity defend the basement is actually overall very confusing to me. They've been bringing a Mute, no Kaid, and no Mira. That's the one that's most striking to me. Mira's not bad. It's a Maestro and an Echo. She's available. It's an option, you know. They're bringing the alibi, and now it's a tower defense?
Oh, that is interesting.
So, okay, so it looks like they 6-pick off of the Mira into a Valkyrie. The reason they're not bringing the Valkyrie is because that would hint at a tower defense. Mira is going to suggest another basement defense. Rogue are going to be caught at least somewhat surprised here.
And you can tell. I mean, a Thatcher being brought on a tower defense is not really a necessity. You don't even really need a hard breach on tower either, right? You look at a number of teams that are aware of how the Oregon ebb and flow goes with the sites, and a lot of teams know that if you win your laundry room and you win your dorms, that it's going to be either kitchen or tower. If a team doesn't play kitchen, there are a lot of attackers who just won't bring a hard breacher. Also, very noticeable will be a lack of a Capitao, a lack of a Dokkaebi, and also additionally a lack of a Zofia. Those three operators are very good at being able to clear out T3, and given the fact that Reciprocity is bringing a Jaeger, this could be not enough utility on Rogue's side to be able to dislodge anybody playing at the top of that tower.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's the first Jaeger here for Reciprocity through this match. And it's going to be even more useful given the fact that, as you stated, there are so few projectiles that would be efficient at clearing out tower, or specifically T3. Still air jabs, though. Slash has been bringing that Nomad every single round, and that's not going to change here. Might be very useful against the Clash. It's surprising that the Clash was brought. I understand it must have been a premeditated pick there on the Clash, but still, the Nomad is going to be the hardest counter I know of to this operator, so that could potentially be really dangerous. Also
worth noting that if Slash uses these air jabs on the kitchen door, possibly even over on small tower, it's going to cut off the only opportunities that Reciprocity have to go for a run out and possibly catch them off guard, because you see a lot of teams will invest quite heavily in taking that kitchen door. Fox A and Eclipse will tussle inside a meeting hall as a successful exothermic charge will go off on the attic wall over by master bedroom, allowing clear passage for Rogue to head on over towards the other side of the attic, which leads to tower, which is unreinforced. Second exothermic charge will go off on kitchen here, which is doing a great job at taking away all of this map control, allowing these almost reinforced, fortified rooms for Reciprocity no more. So Rec will have to play a little bit looser now, knowing that they can't just hold these two parts of the map, which are integral to T3 control, T2 control, and then also control on that main floor.
Vertical trying to cut off the Clash, but Fox A has done a masterful job of falling back slowly through the meeting hall and delaying Rogue. He's been, well, playing meeting hall pretty much the whole match so far, just with various different operators. Cook's going to be opening up the main lobby, drop down likely to add to the flank watch potential for his team. This attic control is super important. There's the air jab that we talked about. It will net the kill. Slash Ugg, some excellent play there, and a little bit of an overextension from Fox A. He didn't need to fall victim to that jab.
Plant going down for easily as well, and once again, it doesn't appear that Reciprocity seemed to be aware of this. Will be the second successful plant for Rogue, and they look to have pretty good control. Laxing on the top of T3 will have to head on down, as only has two members of the site, or only two members of his team playing on site right now. That'll be Skies and Mark. One body down. That's going to be easily finished off by Mark, pushing on in. Oh, the double pistol kill. He's going to do it with his sidearm, and he knows that he's within striking distance of this diffuser. There's one body looking with Skies going for a run out on the Slash. He'll lose the fight to Vertical. Great heads-up play from Vert, which will now put Mark in a 1v3. Mark has both kills for his team so far, and he's going to catch one body, not even going to be able to collapse on Shuttle, as we're going to see the Thatcher just turn around, a good pivot right on his heels, and take out Mark. And for the first time, Rogue will be able to claim the lead here on Oregon in a match that we have said is very high stakes for this team. We'll head to Reciprocity's very final defense with dorms open and laundry open, every site open, and we'll see where Rec chooses to go.
So that round got opened up when Fox A picked off thanks to the air jab that Slash had put in Attic. That air jab was placed inside of Attic, just by the wall, which meant that Fox A had to go through the pre-established breach that the defense had set up in the prep phase. If he had simply not extended himself into Attic, we may have seen an entirely different round. And why? Clash was doing so much work, not only in delaying his opponents, but also in denying the plant at default spot exactly where it was planted, just inside of meeting hall entrance.
It actually looked like Fox A might have gone in backwards so that he knew that he fell backwards. The shield would still be protecting him as he was trying to get upright.
I think it shifts your perspective when you get air jabbed. I'm pretty sure.
I believe the call was actually made that the air jab was up there. That's why we saw the smoke shooting the wall.
Maybe.
Because I believe they knew there was an air jab up there. Maybe they didn't. Maybe it was just coincidental timing. But it was either the smoke or the mute that they had at the time actually pushed up and tried to shoot it away. And
whatever the case,
yeah,
Slash had a really banger of a round, and it all started with that pick that Fox A gave to him.
It's been a bit of a resurgence of Slash in terms of what he brings to the table in fragging power. You go back far enough into the lineage of this Rogue roster, back when King George used to be on the team, back when even Adam used to be on this team. And a lot of times, when you think about this roster, you thought about Eclipse and Slash being the ones who carried most of the killing for the team. Since then, we've seen both Eclipse and Slash adopt more support-oriented roles. For Rogue, you've largely got Shuttle and Vertical as the two people who are going to be killing most of the opponents that you run up against. But even in positions of support, it's still Slash who's able to capitalize and do very well for his team. It's actually making up for the fact that even though he's on a supporting role and doing an exemplary job of getting the diffuser down twice for Rogue in the last 2 rounds, and also using his abilities on those exothermic charges excellently. It's masking the fact that Easley has not been able to find the scoreboard yet, but his contributions to the team have been way more important than 2 or 3 kills so far.
Yeah, he's been getting put in a lot of tricky positions, too. We even saw him on main west window through one of these top floor attacks get flanked by Laxing, no one covering his flank while he's trying to open the castle barricade. That's not his fault. That's just as it is. Another pick to Slash, and why? The air jabs. This has to be some of the best air jab play we have seen from anyone so far in Pro League. Very impressive Nomad on the hands of Slashug. He's going for an entry, and he's got the air jabs to cover, but he won't be able to win the fight. Eclipse will get the follow-up, though, onto Mark. Laxing with a big retake from the top of White Stairs. And what looked like a good push from Rogue, thanks to the Nomad air jabs, turns out to be, thanks to Laxing, a good resurgence from the defense.
Shuttle's still alive. He'll rotate to try and help Easily, who is all alone over by Master, with multiple entries into the site being held down from the remaining members of Team Reciprocity. And as we mentioned, that Easily hasn't been able to do much on the scoreboard and has been doing so much more work outside of it, this is when he's going to need to start to put those numbers up, because you're in a position now where as this Thermite, a minute to go, all of that calamity happened within, you know, the halfway mark of this round. Easily is going to need to just frag. That's it. That's really important for him. His position's going to be given away, and he's going to turn his back and get absolutely nothing, along with Shuttle, as Reciprocity do a good job of holding off the upstairs site. Kids' dorms will go in the way of Reciprocity on their very final defense. We'll transition to attack here for Reciprocity, and Rogue will now be given an opportunity to possibly do something on their defensive stead, as both of these teams are tied.
Okay, so that play from Slash, he got the initial pick, right? And I'm sure a lot of people were thinking, why is Slash rushing main hall? The reason he made a play for main hall is because he had an air jab on anywhere anyone could have peeked him. Every potential exposure on the side of Slash when making that push was covered, and from one operator. No one else on his team needed to assist that push. He could do it by himself, and that's the beauty of Nomad. And one of the things that I think Slash has really been, well, showing us here today quite a lot. Many picks, just thanks to an air jab in the first half. Top fragger for his team, doing a good job. Laxing, though, fighting back as well. Top fragger for his team with 10 frags already out of one half. Impressively done. Be playing Maverick here in the second half, which is also one of the, I'd say, the most fragger-oriented hard breacher. So that's a pretty comfortable role to find himself on. I think will keep him still very much alive on the scoreboard. Moving on to defense for Rogue, they'll start in the basement. We've got a Clash being brought, which is quite interesting. This is the second round in a row we'll be seeing Clash. Or not second round in a row, but second round total, rather. But now on a different team. And a very, very open meeting hall on a basement defense. You don't usually see that, at least not on that wall. Usually it's going to be the southwest wall of meeting.
There you go. At least the kitchen will get locked down fully with that second pantry wall being reinforced from Eclipse. Will not allow clear sailing for Reciprocity to get on in. And a Thermite will not be a part of Reciprocity's lineup either. You mentioned Laxing on the Maverick. You've got Retro on the Hibana. You put Mark on more of that utility role, and Capitao is going to be the role that he is very well suited for and tends to play on a lot of these rounds for his team. I am curious to see the way that Slash is going to be deployed for Rogue, whether he's just going to stay basically anchored down in Meeting Hall, or if he's going to continue to move and possibly be really aggressive in how he decides to provoke members of Reciprocity. Keep in mind that alongside Slash, you'll have Eclipse with that Vigil cloaking sensor who might be able to accompany the shield operator and capitalize off the fact that drones will not be able to see the Vigil when he pushes on up, but actually doesn't look like he's using his cloaking at all inside of the Meeting Hall, and he'll get spotted out, his position given away, which will just give cause for provocation from Reciprocity as they head over towards the Meeting Hall door. They'll hit Slash with one of those concussions and immediately fall back, and that's why the Doc is playing up there, to be able to give some more life in that stim back to Slash's operator.
Yeah. Doc's such a powerful operator in this current meta, and that's going to put Clash right back in this round, where once he was lit up, now he is back to full, or at least very close. Laxing trying his best to do some more damage to that Clash, which Reciprocity seem to be struggling with. They've only used one of the Lifeline's concussions on the Clash so far, so there's potential for that shield to be pushed aside once again. Retro's going to land an excellent shot on a Vertical. He would have had the sandbags pixel peek there to his advantage, but still Vertical could not win the fight. Sky's coming down the main stairs with Retro, and this could just be a straight plant here from Reciprocity. They've got everything going their way. Gas canister, though, will land, though very far afield. The diffuser is being planted, but Rogue with a rally. They get 2 on the retake, despite not being able to deny the plant. It's going to be Clash coming up from the Meeting Hall, trying to pressure the flanks of these attackers. Laxing going to get more kills. Go figure. Easily, though, will shut down Retro, the planter at the bottom of Laundry Stairs. It's absolute chaos here as Laxing gets drowned on the drop. Foxay coming down with 2 big kills. And it's a 1-versus-1 against the Clash. Foxay can't lose it. Reciprocity, the first round in the second half.
Well, we see individual performances from Laxing steal the day, and then Foxay will add to it on his own, coming out of nowhere after Laxing had failed to land most of his shots through that drop hatch onto the obscured easily, was trying to get the diffuser and disable it next to that washing machine, and Foxay just comes right in and kills them all. And in that case, in a 1v1 against a Clash, it's very difficult for you to be able to come away with that, but the Clash has one thing working against her, and that's she needs to stop that diffuser from going off. You can waste an awful lot of time as an attacker just playing keep away, putting that Clash in a position where it's very difficult for her just as an operator to be able to kill you and then still make it to the diffuser in time. Reciprocity will wipe the sweat off of their brow, take their very first attack, and Rogue will go back downstairs to Laundry and hope that things will go better this time around. And we're not going to gamble off of the setup that they'd done before, as you'll see now with a Mira and a Valkyrie getting brought to the table. They'll forego the Doc, they'll say goodbye to the Clash, and we'll likely see something a lot more standard for Oregon, likely involving those black mirrors of Mira downstairs on the closet wall to be able to give you full coverage and lots of plant denial with a smoke playing behind that black mirror, or possibly the Mira with the C4 herself. You'll also have a C4 in the hands of Valkyrie, and it's likely that Eclipse is going to be running barbed wire because he's the only one other than Shuttle that would have it available. It's all speculation, of course. We'll see as the round progresses. As for Reciprocity, well, they're going to go with the same thing that just worked for them. Even though the strat wasn't the cleanest, it was the retake from Foxay that really saved the day. You could make an argument that they had the tools needed.
Yeah, I think if Rogue had been able to handle Foxay just at the end there, we might have seen a very different result. I also do think that the Clash was just not nearly as influential as Rogue was relying on. And I think they wanted that Clash to, well, have a little bit more punch. On top of that, Vertical in Meeting Hall, getting picked off by sandbags, that's a deep by the stage. That's unexpected. You would have thought he would at least do some damage before getting picked off, and it happens. And yeah, Rogue just didn't have as many tools as I think they wanted there.
This bandit's not going to prove to be too much of an issue for Laxing inside of Kitchen, as those double bandit wires will keep that kitchen wall from being opened quite readily, but the Thatcher is a good antidote for that. And we'll be able to cure those two bandit shock wires by throwing one of the EMPs, and either Laxing or Retro will have easier passage to take that wall. Once again, no Thermite for Reciprocity, and I think it'd be quite unlikely, as it's often Mark who we see on that Thermite roll, and they are going to put him in the utility-based operator Capital for the second round in a row. Laxing going back to this pantry wall. Whether he's going to be able to see anybody. There's the bandit playing, and he sees the shoulder for just a second, trying to peek around it quickly. He'll hit Eclipse and tag him for a little bit of damage, but that'll be it as Vertical gets felled. So once again, Rogue will find themselves down a man early.
It's interesting because Rogue just fell off of meeting, but they left somebody in attic, which means it's a complete fallback. It's leaving one player stranded. Only 3 anchors for Rogue versus the 5 attackers we have from Reciprocity who are solely focused on this site. That one roamer, hopefully for Rogue and their fans, going to be able to do something. It's Slash on the Vigil. That's the best operator, I think, to have in this position. He'll be able to keep his location private for now.
There's a minute to go, and this is a good time as any for the execute here. Smoke will just completely stave off Shuttle for being able to see much. Foxay, who was instrumental in the last round, he'll take out easily, and Rogue now find themselves in an even greater deficit. Foxay will take matters into his own hands, trying to get the diffuser down. Rogue will pick up 2 kills, shut down by Mark as he comes on in for a kill with his gun out, looking for a second. Whether the Capital will be able to make something work or not, it's Retro with the sidearm to take out Slash, and Shuttle inside of his own smoke, protected for the time being, but his exit from the supply closet will be no more. He's going to have to try to pressure Retro, knowing that Mark is likely covering it. He'll go into a heads-up contest, and it's Mark who will win the reflex test on that one. Reciprocity marching ever so close to putting this matchup away. They need it if they want to keep step with EG and Dark Zero ahead of them in the standings. Reciprocity will lead Rogue 5-3 as we head into round number 9.
That was a dangerous round there for Rogue and Reciprocity alike. We saw some great plays from Rogue, actually, overall. We had the roaming Vigil on the top floor, come out of attic, able to apply pressure to bottom of main lobby stairs, laundry stairs, as it's usually referred to as. And despite that, we didn't see Reciprocity falter. That was a great entry coming in through the main hallway by Mark specifically, able to do a lot of work by himself. No one from Rogue to get the refrag in that main hallway. Also the smoke play, unfortunately a little bit lackluster, unable to deny the actual plant. As well as the flank coming a little bit too late from Rogue from attic. Overall, it was a pretty decent defense from Rogue, but they're going to change things up, finally. We'll go to the top floor. Since that bottom floor really has not been going the way of Rogue at all, despite what type of variation they throw on their strategy. You gotta give props, though, specifically to Reciprocity for putting some excellent attack strategies on the board. I think the ruthlessness of Reciprocity through these last 2 rounds while attacking the bottom floor have been it's been pretty noticeable.
I think you gotta shake it up at this point, right?
Yeah, top floor is the right call here from Rogue.
A lot of teams will start with that top floor as well, depending on what they want to accomplish with their setup. You can throw a Legion on there, you can go with Castle, you can mute. There's lots of flexibility outside the standard lineup, but Rogue is going to go with something quite conventional. You got 2 C4s on the board with both Slash and Ekel, or Clips rather, as we have to say his full name. Reload! Likely have one of those bodies playing downstairs, possibly 2. It's a good idea for your Pulse to play down in kitchen, just as long as there's nobody who's going to be able to aggressively take up room nearby and put too much pressure on that Pulse. That cardiac sensor is not just going to be able to spot somebody playing over on the Kid Storm's windows, but also if anybody decides to push on up towards White Stairs, you have at least some cover, some information with the 9-meter range that comes with that cardiac sensor.
Foxay just doing his best to be a little diligent here. Throwing out that attic. He establishes there's no one on the flank right this second for Rogue. Laxing trying to work his way into Cafeteria. He will have to contend with some roamers here if he pushes through that door, but he's not going to open it up and run straight in. He'll play it safe, just peeking in. Caught on the cardiac sensor, though. Slash Hug with the C4 onto Mark. That was coming out of attic. Great C4 there, but he will be refragged by Skies on the entry. Retro has control of Generator. This is huge as he gets 2 almost. Very close there, but downed and finished off by Eclipse. Vertical coming up behind the attack, though, and it's an easy 2-piece for Vertical. Rogue take the round, and wow, what a flank.
Vertical, I think, wondering if there's somebody beneath him, but That carbine just rattles on through, holding down the doorway, leading all the way in towards the site. And ultimately, a really good round for Rogue. A lot of that because of the information that the Valkyrie and the Pulse were providing. Rogue seemed to be a step ahead of Reciprocity every single time because of that. When you've got 2 C4s to spare, and you know that somebody's going to possibly push in a generator, the angle that we saw the Valkyrie of Slash playing was perfect, but the problem with being up inside of Attic with only a rotate hole to come out of over towards Master side, other than dropping into Meeting Hall, is that a lot of the ways back to site are telegraphed, and there will likely be a flank watch there to take care of you. It was a very good gambit that we saw from Slash, but with very little survivability after that, and that was an easy finish off to him. And then the rest of it was just simply, it looked like Reciprocity went a little too early on the take, not really realizing where Rogue was playing off-site. Ended up being a major problem with both the Pulse downstairs and the Jaeger of Vertical being able to net 3 of the remaining 4 kills, all while playing off-site. So that falls on Reciprocity to either not have enough bodies to flank watch, which is very possible, it was a 4v4, or just not understanding about where Rogue was playing.
The story so far in the second half, despite Reciprocity winning majority of the rounds, seems to be that Laxing has gone quiet and Shuttle has woken up. In terms of frags, that's what we've been seeing so far, and it's going to be another basement defense for Rogue. So this is, I say, the biggest risk here for the defense right now, and Rogue as a whole for this match, is they have yet to win a basement hold, despite every different type of variation being pulled out that they could think of, it seemed, in the first 2 attempts. And now they're going to have to try a third time. Reciprocity have just been so efficient in clearing out the roamers and hitting from the main lobby. I don't know what I expect to come out of this round, but I hope that Rogue, for their sakes, can show us something a little bit different.
Second defense for Rogue downstairs was inarguably worse than the first. The first was Foxay coming in and winning a 1v3. The second was a 1v1 with Diffuser down, or essentially should have been a 2v1, but Laxing was downed and couldn't have been an active participant in the fight.
Lights out. Clear.
That speaks well to Reciprocity's strategy and being able to get good footing on this site, as Rogue, who didn't do the best on that second defense, now likely coming in here with the same lineup. And I actually apologize, that was the other way around. The retake on the first defense was the one that didn't work so well, with Laxing coming in, or Foxy coming in and winning the 1v3. It was the other one that was like, what, a 4v1, and it was Shuttle that was trapped in the closet, supply closet.
Yes, it was. It was the smoke trapped in the closet. It was unwinnable.
Yep. But Foxay goes down, so the very first kill is going to go to Rogue, which will be beneficial. I don't know if Eclipse is going to challenge this poke hole here that was created by Laxing. Oh! Somehow Eclipse doesn't take any damage at all in that encounter, but despite that, it's going to be Reciprocity going for an execute. Very swift. Smokes go off. Asphyxiating bolt. One has gone down, looking for another. Retro in, trying to go for the plant. 1 second off, but he gets felled by Shuttle, pushing on up as Slash falls off site. That's big news for Rogue to be able to stop that diffuser from going down.
That's all on Shuttle's shoulders. I love the flank there from Laxing, expecting the roamer on the top floor. Slash gets shut down, right? But the smoke gas canisters specifically just salvaged the round for Rogue. Reciprocity has potential here. Oh, we'll finally get the Valkyrie cam that had been spotting for a long time, but the impacts and easily spray will shut down Mark. No planter in play for Reciprocity, and diffuser down just inside of Laundry.
You've also got a body playing back of the tower, and the mirror window being on the other side of the closet proved to be a good choice for Rogue, giving them a lot more of a vantage point. But they just need to wait very patiently. Reciprocity is to bring the fight to them, hustle on over and maybe grab up that diffuser, but there's no smoke and no utility left to stop the body playing behind this window. There you go. You'll see Vertical push on up, and Laxing, who's nowhere close to the site, will try in vain to get back. But it's Rogue who will equalize. We're going to go the full distance here in this matchup, require all 12 rounds. Rogue will draw even at 5-5.
I mean, is anybody surprised that this is going to go the full distance? I sure am not. We've been seeing, I think, a lot of really close matches just in general recently, and as we come closer to the end of the season. And I think this was going to be the, if not the closest match of the day, certainly up there. We'll be going to a rear stage watchtower as the final, well, sorry, as the second to final defense for Rogue. Not really worth bringing up. Tower has been seeing, I think, the primary alternative site slot filled in Oregon's recent history. Some teams still go to kitchen, but I think the general consensus is tower is the place to be these days. And where we saw Reciprocity bring tower a little bit earlier than we expected when they didn't need to, Rogue do need to, as they've defended the top 4 and the bottom 4 successfully now. They have to go to one of the offsites.
Beasley has awoken, and with him the rest of his team. He's finally been able to put up some kills on the board through this half.
I also...
better job on defense.
I was mistaken earlier. I was saying Shuttle has woken up. I meant Clips had woken up.
Yes.
That was my big oof there.
What this does mean is that the very final defense for Rogue will likely be on dorms, and that will obviously benefit them as they are perfect on that site. They only defended it once, so it's a very small sample size. We'll see if they can do it again. It's going to be imperative that Reciprocity wins this one. I like the Kaid pick from Easily. He's also going to have an ACOG, presumably on the TCSG. That's the shotgun that is effectively a DMR.
Yeah, I mean...
possibly played up in T3, but no, it's going to be Shuttle or Slash that's playing up there with the ADS.
It is a DMR.
For better or for worse.
Yeah.
Officially a slug shotgun, but effectively a DMR.
It's a DMR in disguise because they're the defense. They can't have DMRs, so they have to have...
It's not allowed.
Slug shotguns. Yeah. And that's going to be a powerful weapon in the right hands. On tower, it's curious to see.
I mean, we have a Jaeger that's being brought. Oh, my first altercation comes from Mark, almost narrowly taking the head off of Slash. Slash is going to absorb a little bit of damage just into the shoulder. And lucky that he didn't peek as aggressively as he needed to, or else that could have been a really early kill. The presumption being that all the ADSs are down from Slash, so it's not like he's going to die with any real utility, but you're going to need somebody to be able to hold that site upstairs. A deployable shield as well in his hands will likely give him some salvation should an asphyxiating bolt come on in.
Easily playing a bullet hole, and he will be picked off for free because Mark droned it out, and that's a good pick there from Mark. Why you don't need to be peeking bullet holes when the wall isn't open as well. Wall has been opened, though. Now Attic is an access point for Reciprocity, and that's going to not only give them an advantage thanks to the pick, but also a great avenue to hit the site in T2.
Clips is very close inside a meeting hall. Likely hasn't been droned out. Might provoke a fight there. He'll get downed for his troubles. Shuttle finishes off Marks. That's utility that's gone, and a bit of disrespect from Skies as he doesn't bother to engage. That's actually a smart play, unless there be somebody inside a meeting hall looking for Skies to push on up. That could have been an easy trade for Rogue, so people might think that it's a little bit saucy, and it is, but it ends up being the right call as well. A minute to go, and Rogue find that 2 of their 3 bodies left are taking quite a bit of damage. Vertical on Ella, not an operator you see every single day, who's just going to anchor down on the tower stairs, likely be able to engage at close range with the Scorpion, as you'd imagine that gun would do. It chews through anybody with quite a large magazine at close range and allows you to take quite a lot of fights. The pace will pick up. As Rogue will just hold on. Oh, there goes Slash. Very aggressive, but he's not going to be able to find any kills. Skies himself will get aggressive. Traded off by Vertical. Lose a lot of HP. Plant going down in the doorway as it's going to be laxing to just simply hold off. This Toxic Babe will miss, which will allow the defuse to go down quite successfully. Foxay falls. It's a 2v2. Retro trying to find a target of his own. Vertical very low on HP, waiting to see if somebody's going to push up to this diffuser. Laxing sits over top of it, just like a mother hen, just nesting. The Claymore of Foxay will catch Vertical. There wasn't much there left to take down, meaning that Shuttle, with this SMG-11 in hand, quite a lot of recoil, will try to put it all together for his team. Just a bit of patience as he looks down around. Oh, you see the body!
No!
Shuttle! How... You picked the wrong target, Shuttle. Oh my, that is going to be costly. And the time will run out. Whether Retro gets that kill or not, it's impactless. Shuttle would not have been able to get back and get to the diffuser, and a bit of an unfortunate event for Shuttle, who just does not see the body inside of the open wall of Meeting Hall, and that will put Reciprocity on match point. You got to kick yourself after things like that.
Yeah, well, it's done now, and it looks like Rogue are going to be fighting for a draw. This is not good for Rogue's chances at going to land. In fact, it's all but fatal, if I'm not mistaken. It's pretty close. It's not a good result, for sure, if you're a Rogue fan. We'll be going to top floor for the final round here. And Rogue I mean, yeah, okay, they're not going to get a win here, but they need to get a draw. If nothing else, to slow down Reciprocity.
So the Rogue started the day with 14 points. Evil Geniuses are in second with 19 points. It's a 5-point spread. DZ are in first with 20. DZ does still have a day off. So you know that DZ are unable to get the full 12 points remaining. EG can. Reciprocity, I also believe, has a day off, too. So it was EG, Rise, and Accelerate who had the days off, and now it's Space Station who has the time off. So you've still got DZ, Rec, and Rogue who will have to take a day off. This means that they only have 9 points remaining. If Rogue loses here, and both DZ and EG win, then that would put EG at 22 points to Rogue's 14, and that's too much, because Rogue can only get 6 points if they don't win this game, which would mean that if they lose this game, Rogue's ceiling is 20 points, which is where DZ is sitting right now, and EG is sitting with 19. So this is almost a must-win for Rogue if you've been doing the math here.
And that's, I guess that's pretty much it, because, well, they can't win now. They get 1 point out of this, and that's... I just don't see the rest of the play days nobody else getting any points, or at least two, or only one team absorbing all the... It's just not gonna... It's very unlikely. Very unlikely. Though you're right, last season we did count out Rogue as well. So who knows? We'll see what happens, but...
a lot will rest on the DZ-EG games, too, for Rogue's playoff chances, because if Rogue loses here and both DZ and EG win, then that's it. It's basically it.
And, well, I mean...
We'll just wait for a confirmation from production and the stats in front of us.
But that's later. We have those matches as well for you later today.
Right. This is not a given for Reciprocity at all. These two teams have been extremely closely matched, and with it being a Dorms defense, which went in hand for Rogue last time, we might be writing Rogue's obituary in this matchup a little bit too early. Now, as you pointed out, Rogue can't win, but they can at least fight for a draw. Skies is going to try to take one body down. No shots will hit from either party. As Rogue has control in the back of Meeting, you've got both Eclipse and Slash there. And now Vertical will tag on up too. 3 bodies to try and find Skies. He'll back up. He'll take out that C4. But look at this, 3 bodies that are fighting Skies, and that leaves only 2 to focus on the push. But it'll work out. Eclipse will take out Mark. Foxay will be tagged in to get that diffuser down. Retro picks off easily, looking for another body. It's going to be the smoke on the stairs. Vertical eliminates Skies. Laxing takes out Shuttle, diffuser down. And now Reciprocity have control of the site. It'll be very difficult for Rogue to retake, especially with Hibana playing on that master wall. It's not as open as it would be with a Thermite. You just got to make sure that nobody pushes you inside of Master. Retro needs to look to his right just in case. He'll get pushed from Vertical. Oh no, but Retro eliminates Vertical. Laxing there to take out Slash, and it's all up to Eclipse. But he'll get traded. And a full trade to be sure. Will be Retro there to get the very final kill, and Reciprocity picks up a big win in their hunt for the playoffs, and it might spell doom for Rogue. We'll find out at the end of this play day. It was really close between these two teams. Reciprocity just barely inched it out.
So Reciprocity getting that win is effectively going to keep them in the running. They've been having a bit of a trip here and there recently. Not as many wins as you would expect out of them, considering what happened in the first season. But their first half of the season was so excellent that getting just a few wins here and there now in the second is going to give them a good shot at LAN. And this win against Rogue is a huge hurdle to jump over for Reciprocity, and you got to give them props for that. That'll keep them, like I said, in the running.
Now, the one question that we do need to ask is, has Rogue been steadily making improvements, or has Reciprocity just been declining? We saw the matchup last week against Reciprocity and Rise, in which Rise Nation absolutely dominated Reciprocity. In this matchup, both teams made a number of very puzzling choices, but still, it's Oregon, and it's very hard to get good data from Oregon, just because of the way the map tends to play. But still, it was a struggle for Reciprocity, which means that either Rogue has righted the ship a little bit, or if Rogue really haven't improved, there's been a step back for Rec.
It was a struggle for Reciprocity, but there are a couple key things that stand out to me on the side of Rogue. the way that they were playing, especially on defense, for example, when they went to the bottom floor. So the first time they went to the bottom floor, they tried that clash strategy, opening up the wall in meeting hall with the vertical playing way back on sandbags, using the pixel spot in the stage. It's a very powerful position to play, and usually one that people would consider to be harder to lose. Vertical doesn't get any work done there, anything at all. He just gets picked off. And then the clash effectively is also fangless. There's nothing that the clash does to influence the round, just kind of lingers in the position and denies entry to meeting hall for the attack. But the thing that really discourages me is that Rogue just gave up on that strategy. They just abandoned it. They're just like, we're done with this. And then they moved on, and it got even worse. Yeah. The basement defense for Rogue was a serious struggle.
So we have Fox A's interview ready, and we'll throw it up on the screen. It's been a couple weeks since we actually saw him, so we'll say hello to Davide Bucci for Reciprocity. Hello, Fox A. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Congratulations on your victory today. You played as wild as the scenery behind you, it would appear. Going up against Rogue today, I just want your very basic assessment, because this was something that we actually asked each other. Your assessment of today's match. Did you commit more mistakes than you anticipated for this match to be this close? Or was Rogue playing exceptionally well in comparison to the way that they've played through most of the season?
We definitely made a lot of mistakes. Rogue was playing very well on adapting on our mistakes, so they did very good on themselves. But for our part, yeah, we let them flank a couple times that we shouldn't have. We ended up getting hit by a few too many nomad charges. So, yeah, they played well. A little bit of both.
Were you anticipating the nomad coming as often as it did into every attack, basically, for Rogue?
No, I mean, we in scrims with teams have started using Nomad, but there hasn't been like a map or anything that they've been too dominant. Of course, she's annoying to play against, especially for roamers. But they were using her in a really good and unique way, kind of using it as an attack, which a lot of people presumed that they would use Nomad for it. So they were doing really good with it, and we weren't really expecting it.
On that one defense that Rogue did on the laundry room, where they put the mirror window on the opposite side of the supply closet, what went wrong for you in adapting to the way that they changed up their defense? Because you looked almost indomitable on the two previous laundry supply room attacks, but you got tripped up with a couple of those changes.
That one was on us. So originally, I was going to go down for the plant, but we had a mix-up on who had diffuser. So me having to rotate back from downstairs to main floor, the meeting guy got a pick on me. I wasn't able to do my thorough check of any cams or anything on the main stairs. So, we just called that their setup was it seems really easy to attack it with just a straight rush plant, which is what we were going for, but we didn't see the camera because, I got picked first. And that's what led to our demise. Retro and Mark weren't able to plant because the camera was pinging them. Even though it was right above the stairs, we just didn't check. So that was on us that they won that one.
Perfect. And the only question I have for you is, over the last couple play days, you haven't looked quite as fearsome as you did through the first half of the season. What have you as a team been working on to rectify that and prepare yourself for the remaining couple games you have this season and push for the playoffs?
Yeah, no, I think we're in the same boat as EG, as where we have so much to lose, so we're trying so hard to be perfect that it's making us not play our own game and play the way that we're comfortable in playing. I think something that we've just tried to work on is going back to our roots and what got us to do so well at Invitational, rather than trying to counter. There's a little bit of counterplay, but not do too much and put people out of their comfort zone. So yeah, that's what we've been working on.
A lot of teams win when they play their game, and a lot of teams lose when their opponents make them play the other game. So there you have it. Congratulations on your victory today. Anything to say at the conclusion of the interview?
Thanks, everyone, and it was a great game. Shout out to Rogue. They played really well. Shout out to Ella, cute dog. Yeah, we'll see you guys hopefully in Milan.
Perfect. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.